There we go.
All right.
You got it, Pete.
All right. Well, our movie for tonight is Winter's Bone. It came out in 2010. It received 4 Oscar nominations, one for Best Movie, Best Actress, Best Actor, and Best Writing from an Adapted Screenplay. The movie had a budget of $2 million. It did, what did it do? $6.5 million in the US, 13.8 worldwide. So it made money. The numbers are rather modest, but it made money, certainly. It was based on a 2006 book by the same name. I guess I watched this movie years ago, and I watched it again. My wife and I watched it again after I'd already suggested it for this week, just to see if I still felt good about the pick. And I have one comment, somewhat negative, but I guess my primary takeaway from this movie is just Jennifer Lawrence was 20 years old when she made this movie, and I just thought the kind of acting chops she exhibited at such a young age were pretty remarkable. I mean, it's understandable why she was nominated for Best Actress. So that was a big takeaway. I also very much enjoy John Hawkes, who played her uncle, and Garrett Dillahunt, who played the sheriff. If any of you saw Deadwood when it was out on HBO years ago, they were both prominently featured in that. And also John Hawke is in the current run of True Detective. If you're watching True Detective now, he's in that as well. The one comment that I had, or one thought I had over the weekend, and I thought it was interesting because I didn't look at the Academy Award nominations until earlier tonight, but one of them was for Best Writing from an Adapted Screenplay. One of the takeaways I had watching it over the weekend is I thought the writing was kind of weak. And not that I've got anything going on in Hollywood, but I just thought there was a little too many y'alls and I reckons in the movie there. The dialogue just seemed a little forced. I don't know that they needed to go to that extreme without conveying the sentiment or the personality or the atmosphere of this area in the Ozarks where the movie took place. But what I also thought was this movie, to me, it did a very good job of putting you in that environment. I mean, I made some notes, depression, desperation, anxiety. It just hung over that movie like a cloud the entire time. And to me, it really pulls the viewer into that. It's very, very depressing, but on the other hand, you're rooting for Ree to prevail and try to locate her father so they don't lose the house. The scene I have screenshot behind me is where she was getting ready to present the sheriff with evidence that her father did not run. If you remember when they went out in the pond there with the chainsaw. So that's really it. I mean, I think it wasn't a really deep movie. No hidden meanings. It was what it was, but I thought the movie was well done. So I will open it up to the floor. Don't everybody go at once.
I love it, and it's just, I mean, I can drive you to those places from my house. It might be a little overdone on the welcome to the Ozarks language, but the where they were and how they lived, there's just some scary people down there. And when I say down there, I mean Christian County and just south of Springfield.
Hickory County.
Who?
Hickory
Texas?
County.
Oh, Hickory. Yeah, they got some
Up by
scary
Lake
people.
Pomme de Terre. I lived there for 5 years, and I could tell you that what was in this movie exists, and it's really frightening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually they don't stick them in a pond; they feed them to the hogs. But
I was gonna say, Pete, that I also like Dale Dickey. Those are two, between John Hawkes and Dale Dickey, those are two supporting actors that are in a lot of things, but they're both just excellent at what they do. Just look at them and see that in them, and then you can also, they express it very well too.
Mike, which one was he? What character did he play?
John Hawkes was the
I know who Hawks, the other one, Dale.
Dale Dickey is a woman. She's the woman that took her to the pond and said, "Here, we're going to solve. We're going to take care of this. You wouldn't listen to me. I tried to tell you not to talk about this. So we're just gonna solve this for you." She just, to me, she's very realistic at what she does. She's in a lot of westerns. She plays in war areas like this and that sort of thing. Between the two of them, I remember seeing that when I saw the movie before, I was like, yes, those two. I think they really give Jennifer the backing that she needs to make it out through this movie.
Mr. Mahoney and I have some friends who have a place at the lake that we visit every summer on our annual sojourn, and right very close to their house, we have to drive down a road that, what do you think, Mike? It kind of reminds me of a lot of the scenery in that movie.
Yeah, there's even when we go down there to this place that Pete's talking about, this area where he's talking about is probably not more. These folks live on probably maybe an acre of land, and we have to literally drive by their property to get down to our friends, and there's almost a sense of dread going by there. There's always a dog or two that's chained up. It looks like they're living in several different campers where there's tarp over some of them. It's pretty creepy.
Is this a Table Rock?
This is down in the western stem of the Lake of the Ozarks.
The Graboy Mill area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like movies, obviously, and I've seen millions, tons of movies. I think this is the only movie I have ever seen, and Pete, you hit it right on the head. The sense of depression and dread and desperation was so strong that I actually could not watch this movie all the way to the end. Because that acting was so good, at least it was so heavy on me. I literally had to leave. I could not get through the whole thing. It was that upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Knowing that people are still living like that. And it was just, for me, just overwhelming. I did not rewatch it. I wanted to, and then I don't know, things happened and I didn't rewatch it. But, I think I was kind of refreshing my mind. I went to Wikipedia and Roger Ebert, and Roger had a question in there, and I thought pretty good. He wanted to know why Ree was so hopeful and so good, basically, compared to her parents and everybody that she was surrounded with. She was the one hopeful in the whole movie. And his question was, well, where did she learn that? Because it sure didn't come from her environment, and it sure didn't come from her parents. So where did she learn to have a sense of hope and caring and giving that nobody else in her entire universe had? And I thought that was actually a pretty good question. But again, that was one of those movies that just was so overwhelming with that dread, that desperation, that I actually walked out of it. And I never walk out on movies, and this one I did. So anyway, so
I would say,
yeah.
Donna, I would say that her neighbor that had the horses
Yeah.
would come over and bring food. She would try to help her. So she had a little bit of
A little
influence
bit.
there.
You're right. You're right. You know, I had forgotten about
She said, she said, I don't know what all you can do with this, but there's enough to make a good stew out of this. And so they go shoot a squirrel.
Yeah.
And,
well, maybe that's all you need in reality is just one person that can show you an inkling of a different way. And maybe that's all you really need. Because I remember just feeling so awful for everybody and the kids and her brothers and sisters and all that, So anyway, but enjoy is not the word, but it was certainly, it was eventful for me. It was surprising. And I still remembered that I walked out on it because I don't walk out on movies, but that one I did. And that was towards the end. I mean, I just had it to the point where I can't do anymore. So I walked out.
We don't know about the mother. I mean, that she was taking care of. The mother might have been, in her younger days, might have been somewhat of a positive influence. We certainly know what the father was all about, but I think part of what Ree made Ree is her sense of dedication and loyalty to her mother and her siblings,
right?
And that those tenets allowed her to rise up above the typical behavior or attitude in that part of the world. The only thing I will say about Walking Early, the part where the alien ship came down was really, in my view, one of the best.
And I could have swore I saw Sasquatch in there one time. I think he saw me, but I didn't really see him.
Well, Pete, I have to say, I admire Ree's tenacity. I mean, my gosh, for being 17 years old in the movie, and taking care of her brother and sister. Her brother and sister didn't know there was anything wrong. They were happy as could be, and she made sure that it stayed that way for them. She sheltered them from the awful things that were going on. And I'll tell you what, guys, you don't want to tangle with any of those women.
No.
Holy cow. They were so mean. But anyway, I felt like this was almost a prequel to Netflix series Ozark. Anybody watch that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But that
was so similar in many, many ways. I thought, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm watching this all over again. But yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough one to get through the end, Donna. I get you.
Yeah. Well.
But I did it because I had to see. I'm nosy.
It was a female director too, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
That wasn't really the vogue thing at the time. And she managed to pull this thing together and get the financing for it, and saw a lot of things in there that we didn't see before it actually happened. And it came out pretty well.
She was a documentarian as well. I didn't recognize a lot of her works, quite honestly, but yeah, Mike, you're right. And
then Mattson, you remember the documentary you had us watch that was about Richmond, Missouri?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that. It had a lot of the same tones to it. It felt like it was a documentary almost at times.
I was trying to remember the name of that doc earlier today because I had the same impressions. I was looking for it as a film rather than a doc, and so I couldn't find it. But Rich Hill, Missouri, it had a lot of the same feelings of desperation in it, and I really sort of begrudgingly came to admire Ree's determinations for the first part, for 3/4 of the movie, really. I was having difficulty finding sympathy for anybody in this because he was just kind of going, well, this is glaring example of backwoods, broken economy, broken environment, broken people with a lack of education, and they, in some ways, bring it upon themselves, which is harsh, I know. But the final quarter of the movie, I went, okay, this woman is very, very determined to try to see it through. I thought, speaking of Chris and the other remarks about this being difficult to watch, I think the cinematography contributed a lot to that bleak sense of the landscape, which I think was pretty easy to recreate, especially for those of us that live in Missouri and One Pump, Kansas, and places like that, where that environment, you don't have to go too far at all, like you guys said, to find real life examples of that. But I thought the cinematography did a really good job of bringing in, reinforcing that sense of desperation and the hopelessness of the scene. And then go ahead.
I was just gonna say the name of the movie. I mean, it's clearly takes place in the winter, and there's not any color. There's no, you don't get any dogwoods, you don't get any red buds blooming, you don't get the beauty of what's all around them. It's winter's bone, and that's just so telling, I think, about the cinematography, as you said.
Yeah, you see, I didn't get the impact of the title of the movie until well into the movie, and went, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I got it. But yeah, you're right. It was a winter movie. It was tough. It's felt like it was sort of this time of year, literally, where everything in the woods and in the wild is dead, and people are just trying to make it through to warmer weather.
I don't know.
I thought it was a good film. But I'm like Donna and Chris in the sense that I damn near turned it off. I mean,
yeah.
I got through it, but
they didn't call it winter's roast. I mean, it's winter's bone.
I made a note about the cinematography as well, and one of my thought, there were oftentimes they would show like a view of the rolling hills and everything, and even at this time of year, it's kind of pretty. And when you pull back and look at something from a distance, without any detail, it's very nice. But when you zoom in and get up close, and now you're zooming in on people and their house and the environment, then it completely turns into something that's tough to watch, obviously. So you made it through the big year, but you almost didn't make it through this. Is this what I'm led to believe, Mike?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was close on the big year, but I think that was a function that I didn't have much to do that Monday.
Gotcha.
Oh, and Jeff Copeland, happy birthday!
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Jeff.
You don't look a day over 39, Jeff.
That's right.
I received a complimentary cane, Well, thank you.
Is this a big one?
It was 71.
That's not big.
I figure it's the year we graduated, so it kind of has some resonance that way somehow. It's my football jersey's number, so 71 has been an important number for me during my life, but
There you go.
just another iteration. I would concur, and having grown up in more or less rural Missouri, there are some kind of sinister people out there, and they don't have a hard time hiding because they really don't have to hide very much. They can go out and live in relative squalor and be just happy as clams and do their illegal stuff. And, whether it's moonshine or whether they're brewing up drugs or whatever, it's not real hard to do that. And I think I've seen during my lifetime, there was some weed around when I was growing up, but there wasn't a lot of other stuff. And now, the local mortuary in my hometown got busted for selling cocaine about 25 or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It just, that kind of stuff is there. It's everywhere now. So it's a combination of poverty and all this exposure to stuff, I think through the internet and other things, you know, they know about it, and it's a way for them to make money when they don't have any other way of doing it. I think there was a discussion about Ree's dad actually trying for a long time to make it, but he finally got sucked in and became a bad guy for cooking drugs and other stuff like that. But even he tried at some point to be somewhat appropriate and good. Yeah, I have to say I was very impressed with J-Law doing her thing at age 20. She had some chops, and she had great facial expressions, and she the way she would interface with the older women, and I gotta agree that those older women were awesome. They were a frightening thing. And then their relationship with the guys in that garage scene where Ree was kind of cowering down and they came in, and there was that whole kind of bargaining thing where her uncle agreed to cover for her and so forth. Even at the end, when things were looking up for her, they were looking up like just above ground level. They were not really looking up great. She was going to have a house and she could take care of the kids, but that was all she had. She didn't have any money. She didn't have any prospects or anything else like that.
I was kind of curious, how much money she got from the bondsman at the end, and you know what she ended up doing with it. I don't expect it was much to to do with, certainly not get them out of their circumstances, but I mean, just passing and went, I wonder how much cash is in that envelope.
Yeah.
More than she could imagine, I'm sure, is what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Donna, I think everybody else on this is going to know what I'm talking about here. We had an episode here in, it was actually in north central, northwest Missouri, of a bully-like character, like the guy that was in this movie. The guy's name was Rex McElroy, and he literally was the town bully in this little place called Skidmore, Missouri, about 60, 75 miles to the northeast of Kansas City. And he terrorized the entire town and probably most of the county. And then one day, when it reached critical mass, this McElroy man was murdered, sort of collectively by the town, and to this day it remains an unsolved murder. Nobody has talked.
Was there a documentary or something on that?
Yeah,
there's a book.
Okay.
In broad daylight.
Yes.
Yeah. Broad daylight.
Yeah.
Nobody talked.
He was a bad dude.
Yeah.
That's about 40 miles from my hometown.
Oh my gosh.
Where was this filmed? Was it filmed in southern Missouri?
Yes.
I doubt it.
I believe so.
No, it was. It was in Forsyth, Missouri, is where it was shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's where most of the locals came from. They had some actors that they brought in, but most everybody else, all the other folks were.
Yeah, I mean, the Springfield auction barn was in it.
Is that what that was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good set for that action where she was trying to chase him down. That was effective. I got to say the banjo motif was kind of classic Ozark too.
So
the reason I said I was doubtful that it was shot in Missouri was that Missouri doesn't have much of a film department at the state level. They don't encourage.
There's no tax credits.
Yeah, tax credits for it. It's getting better. Kansas City and St. Louis have tried to do something, and I think Springfield has as well. But by and large, the state doesn't give out many tax credits for films.
And I think part of it is because the author's from West Plains, which is just an hour to the east, hour and a half.
For this, for the book, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then the series Ozark, like Chris was talking about, was shot in, I think it was Georgia.
Georgia.
It was Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia.
That always
Yeah.
surprised me when you would see the credits at the end, you know. Gee
But the
whiz,
story
come on,
came
man.
from him working at a marina at Lake of the Ozarks.
Right.
Yes.
But a lot of they shot scenes around that area so that you could feel like you were in the Ozarks. But
Get some exteriors.
yeah, but a lot of it was just, you know, some land right next to the water in around it, southern Georgia.
I'm finishing a book right now called The Marsh Queen, and the setting is in rural Florida, and it is so similar to this. I mean, there's a guy, you know, he lives kind of in rural Florida, and I think they're selling meth, and you know, and they find him, and everything is so. I mean, I know that everybody says, well, this is Missouri, but I mean, there's a lot of states that this could be.
You could probably do
yeah.
a chart
The
at the
South.
map of the United States, and no matter
Yeah.
where you hit, there's a story about somebody selling meth, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
Arkansas.
It's the
And
South.
they don't cook it anymore. They used to cook it back when this was done. But
Now what
it's
do
all
they
brought
do?
in.
It's
Now it
what?
comes from Mexico.
Oh.
So, man, I've seen pretty rough stuff in, Michigan, Ohio, upstate New York, all those places. I mean, they've all got their sort of Ozarkian charmed areas.
And of course, the Appalachians too, all the way
Right.
Oh
from
my God, yes.
here
Yeah.
up to New York. Yeah.
Moonshining, it was just the predecessor to.
Yeah.
The cash
No,
crop.
that's how NASCAR got started, was moonshining.
What'd you think, Mr. Barnhart?
I mean, I'd seen it before. I had to watch it in parts. I was kind of, I don't know, snoozing off on it, I guess. But I liked it. I mean, I liked the characters. I liked all the characters. I remembered a lot of it from the first time. I think that was a lot of it. I was talking with my aunt yesterday about it, and she said something about how much she liked it and how strong the performances were by all the women in it. And I thought, oh, that's a good observation, because there were a lot of good women actors in this, and they probably did take a stronger role in all of it than the men did. You know, I thought that was a pretty good observation, but I liked it. I like seeing it again. I was gonna. I guess that's about it.
There was some trivia I wanted to share with everybody on IDB. I don't know if you saw this or not, Pete, but Jennifer Lawrence talked to a casting agent about this in New York, and they did not give her the part because they thought she was too pretty. So when she was to meet with the casting agent, she got there in a rainstorm and walked 20 blocks and had not washed her hair for a week, and then showed up and read for it, and they said, okay, you got it.
Wow.
It didn't do great, and it pulled in 16 million bucks. Cost a couple $1 million to.
Yeah, I mean, it made money, but the overall numbers were not. I don't know how that squares for. Well, I mean, it was 2010, so, and it wasn't a Marvel comic movie, and scenery didn't cost a lot, so I don't know.
I mean, and they're
Rusting out all those cars probably cost a pretty penny.
And washing
To
machine.
get what, 4 nominations?
4 Oscar nominations, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's pretty good.
critical
Not bad.
success.
So
I
Pete,
think
you picked this? Oh,
Pardon
sorry,
me?
Mike. What did you tell us? What made you pick this?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably like most all of us, I keep a list of potential picks when my number comes up. This has been on there for probably a year or so. And what I said at the outset is what led me to pick this. I was just so blown away by her performance as a young actress. I thought that in itself was enough to put that forward to the group to watch. So that was really it.
Bill, when I saw Bill's email, I thought for sure we had seen it before, but I guess not.
What do you mean?
It had been a pick before.
That we've seen it before? Did I send an email out?
Wait, no, your email just telling what the pick was for the week. Because I had to jump last week early.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because you were getting thrown out of a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'd like to hear the other details of that, why you couldn't stay another 10 minutes.
We don't like
the
your
name
kind
of it
around
was El Luchador, which means the wrestler. So
They must have run out of chips.
that's right.
It was not Jennifer Lawrence's first movie. She'd made 3 other movies before that: Garden Party, The Poker House, and The Burning Plain. I don't know how she became up and coming, but I guess she was still up and coming when she did the Hunger Games too, though.
Well, something I read, I think also on IMDb, by the time 2015 or so rolled around, she was one of the highest paid actresses, period.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
I guess from Hunger Games, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to the money aspects of this. I mean, it was not the feel good movie that you tell your friends about. Oh, you need to see Winter's Bone to make sure that you get a healthy dose of Ozark depression.
It's no date movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my.
It was just an independent, do it by yourself kind of movie, and that's why it was small, I think.
Yeah.
There was no studio involved. They did. I remember they did fundraising like with a GoFundMe account or something.
Is that right?
Wow.
Oh, really? Huh.
That's not unusual. If you pay attention, you'll see that periodically on Facebook. There's a new movie coming out, and they need your support, and they'll give you a credit if you donate $50 or something. None of that stuff
You
is
and
cheap.
450 other people when they scroll over the credits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, double speed.
Of course.
I never.
All right,
4 columns.
Are we ready for next week's pick? I think that would be Chris, wouldn't it?
That would be right. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pack your bags. We're going on another trip. We're going back to the summer of 1962, the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. So what do the neighborhood boys do in the summertime of 1962? They don't have games and all of that to do. Well, they go to the pool and they play baseball at the Sandlot.
Yeah.
The movie
Yeah.
is The Sandlot that I have chosen for this time.
Yeah.
So, and not The Sandlot 2, but the original one that came out in 1993. So I would like all of you guys to choose one of the characters that you kind of feel you align with. It. Yeah, that would have been me playing. A couple of them I can kind of line up, but I want to see what you guys say. Oh yeah, I would have been that guy on the team. Of course, Donna, you and I get Wendy Peppercorn or whatever her name is. That's the lifeguard, at the pool. So we don't have a lot of choice, but yeah, I'll be curious to see if any of you guys identify with any of those players because they are just fabulous. So they're all like 12, 14 years old. But that's the pick, the Sandlot.
Isn't one of them called Squints?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm not Squints.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't there a big dog in this one?
Yeah.
There's a very big dog in this one.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give it away.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh, you're gonna love it, Donna.
Yeah.
It's a charming
Fantastic.
little movie.
It is.
Good, good.
No, we have
I won't
baseball
walk out.
up
Yeah.
too, so it kind of coincides with that. So anyway.
Well,
Cool.
this will lift everybody's spirits after a very depressing hour and 40 minutes in the Ozarks.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl will be over. It's time for baseball.
Yes.
Right,
Wow,
that's
that's right.
right.
Yeah,
Don't they
just-
report next week?
Yeah.
You see where they locked Bobby Witt up?
He made a little
I
money,
saw
didn't he?
that.
288 mil.
Yeah, 14-year contract.
Well,
Mahomesian.
Actually, it ends up being, in terms of the Royals, about a 4-year contract, because they actually lock him in for another for 11 years total, and he's 24 now, so that's another 7 years, and then there are options on both the player side and the team side to take it out to 14 years. So. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like they're going to try to build a baseball team around it.
Wow.
Why wouldn't you?
Hey,
Yeah.
that's
happy,
the guy
Bill?
I want to be.
Huh?
I want to be that guy. Oh, he's not in the movie. Well,
Bobby Witt.
yeah. So, well, I started looking at the list of Academy Award movies. I watched one of them, the Holdovers. I watched
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Because there were a bunch of
That's
I could
good.
check off like 6 or 7 boxes with that one movie. It was
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I also saw American Fiction. I thought they were very similar. In that, has anybody else seen those 2 movies?
No.
In that it's about
Overs.
Yeah, I seen the Holdovers, but not American.
it's
Yeah.
about an insecure middle-aged man, you know. They both are. But I mean, they're up for Academy Awards, and I did like them. I mean, you know, a couple good shows, and I guess that I throw out as for to watch, since it's free, and you can check off a lot of boxes on your Academy Award list, is Maestro. It's free on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see
Because
that.
it's not very good.
Well,
I've
you
managed
can-
to
you can
watch
check off
7.
a lot of boxes with that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've managed to watch 7 of the 10. So I only have 3
Wow.
left.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I checked off about 3 of them this week, but I really liked Past Lives.
Which one?
Past Lives.
Oh, yes. Yes,
It's
I
all
saw
in
that.
Korean. You'll need your subtitles, but
Yeah,
my-
subtitles, but it's
Oh,
pretty
my.
amazing. Yeah.
very, very good. And then on a different note, that's not Academy Awards, I watched The Greatest Night in Pop, which
Yes,
is
I saw that too.
a Netflix.
That's a good
about-
one.
That's
Yeah.
real good.
They created the record, the song "We Are the World." It was
Mhm.
fabulous.
It is.
Lionel Richie referenced that last night on the Grammys.
He
Yeah.
did.
Oh, he did.
did.
Oh,
It's very
And
good.
Jeff, I
Mhm.
want to commend you again. I think Chris watched it too, that documentary on
Yeah.
the album covers.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Fantastic.
glad you liked it.
I mean, I
Takes you
watched it
right
after
back.
this call last week. I went right
Huh.
and watched it. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry I couldn't get the title right. I had every known title except the actual
Yeah.
title.
Thank your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, along the lines of what Chris was talking about, another documentary on Netflix that I think is pretty good, and I'm sure Mahoney's seen this, is the Yogi Berra story.
That's really good. That's really good. And even if you know a lot about Yogi Berra, you learn things. It's really well done. It was produced by his granddaughter with all the attendant love that you would think a granddaughter would do for her grandfather,
Father.
especially a guy as quirky and funny as Yogi Berra. It's really well done.
Yeah, it is good. I saw that too.
Did you
Yeah.
say on Netflix, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he grow up in St. Louis?
Yeah, he grew up Um,
On the hill, didn't he?
yeah, on the hill, on the street next to down the block from Joe Garagiola, who also grew up there. And
Right.
and Garagiola probably has as much to do with anybody in creating the legend of Yogi Berra. Because I mean, he would always tell Yogi Berra stories when he was doing baseball games on network TV.
Yeah.
And he could tell him better than Vera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
What else do we have for other things? Oh, the name of the Yogi Berra documentary is "It Ain't Over."
That's right.
Anybody watching Masters of the Air on Apple?
I haven't as yet. No.
Heard
Oh,
it's
man.
good.
It's very good. The problem, of course, I hate when they only get one a week. So I think they come out on Fridays or something. So I watched one today. But I think it's of the caliber of, Pacific War, all those, the Band of Brothers, that kind of thing. It just fits right in with all of that. Only they're flying these flying fortresses and trying to get home in one piece, which is not always easy to do in those things. But
Wow.
The people behind Band of Brothers somehow involved in the production of that. For some reason, I think I heard.
Yeah, I've heard it compared to it at the very least.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Spielberg, I think,
is it a Spielberg?
and Tom
Great.
Hanks.
And Tom Hanks, yeah.
I'm also watching Death and Other Details, which is on Hulu. It's one of those everybody's on a cruise ship and somebody gets murdered. They bring in a detective to try to figure out what's going on.
Let me guess, a Belgian guy.
No, it's actually Mandy.
It's not Hercule. No.
It's Mandy Patinkin, who was in the Homeland series for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
he gets to try his chops as a French detective, as if he were Perot or something.
Or Diego Montoya.
Right. You are here to die. Oh, and
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody would be interested in this, but I wanted to throw it out there. If you've seen Napoleon, great, but there's a movie called Beau is Afraid that Joaquin Phoenix has done, and it is 3 hours long. So that might scare you away at the beginning.
What's it called again, Mike?
It's called Beau is Afraid.
Oh, Beau is Afraid. Okay.
Beau, that's his name. And he lives with his mother, and his mother is dying, and he doesn't know what to do. And he's very confused all the time, and nobody can really understand what his problem is. But he traverses through, Whitaker would love this one because he makes a huge character arc over the 3 hours and finally becomes self-sufficient at the end. But he's a great actor. That's all there is to it. Phoenix can really do just about anything. And he takes this one on with, I think, a great interest in it. But anyway, I got into it and I couldn't turn it off. I thought, well, I'll watch a little bit here and I'll watch a little bit there. It held me the whole 3 hours, but I watch 3 hour movies, so don't use that as.
Yeah.
Speaking of Napoleon, I believe this is the 25th anniversary of Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
And then I guess everybody's watching the True Detective on HBO.
Yeah. It's been getting shellacked in the ratings. Have you read that?
Yeah.
I mean, not, critics have not been very kind to that so far. But
it's like season 4, especially.
Yeah.
Did you like it, Pete?
Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
It's
Like
it's
as much as Fargo.
I would say I don't like season 4 True Detective as much as I've liked Fargo. Season 1 True Detective with McConaughey and Woody Harrelson was superb. but it's good. I mean, Jodie Foster, you know, she's a righteous
Yeah.
actress. So
He's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's another one. I don't know if you guys would like it, but it's called Capote versus the Swans.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see that.
This is a series that's called Feud, and it's been different things along the way. It was what were the two older actresses, Betty Davis and the other lady,
Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford, and so they build up the fact that how they feud and how they hate each other. The guy that plays Capote is excellent. I don't know where I've seen him before, but I know I've seen him somewhere. But the Swans in Capote versus the Swans are all these women that he builds around him. They're all socialites in New York.
Yeah, I heard of this.
That help raise his status, and then he brutally, tears them apart with all of their foibles. And it's just, I'm at the point where he's just about ready to have his masquerade party, which was a famous thing that was done in New York with socialites where everybody came wearing a mask. And so it's one of those that they're dribbling it out to you. But if nothing else, just to watch the guy that plays Capote, you will think it's Truman Capote.
Yeah. He's an English actor, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And he was in, what was the one that, and I think they're doing a new one of it too. Jennifer Coolidge was in a movie about being on a cruise ship or something. And
I can't remember.
And he's in that. You'll recognize him when you see him out of his makeup and all that sort of thing. You would definitely recognize him.
Yeah, that's right.
Folks that you see on every BBC, thing that's going along. And every once in a while, I've seen him on other programs where he's talking about it and trying to beef it up too. So
I think playing Truman Capote would just be a lot of fun. I mean, you could take that.
Oh yeah.
It would be hard to go over the top.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You can't. Right? And he's got it all down. He's got the lisp. He's got the
everything.
rolling his eyes, and he's telling all these women what they need to be doing to improve their status.
Tom Hollander is his name. Tom Hollander.
Oh, okay.
Tom Hollander is.
Oh yeah.
That's Spider-Man, isn't it?
I had to just look it up.
Yeah. I don't think so. I watched Rustin, that
that's up for an Academy Award. Pardon
me?
That's up for
it's really good. It was again behind the scenes that you don't know, especially if you're not Black, especially because I had not heard of him before. And boy, it's interesting. It's an interesting story. And it's very good. So yeah, I'd recommend that. I don't know what it's on, probably Netflix.
You saw it for free?
Yeah.
He was a civil rights guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, he's a civil rights guy, and he's really good. He was one of Martin Luther King's best friends, and he was gay, and they found out he had to be, it's just one of those sign of the time kind of things, but he's pretty amazing and smart.
Probably knew Harry Belafonte.
Yes. Oh yes, of course. Everybody knew Harry. They all loved Harry. Wasn't that in the what's that one? Maybe it was Rustin where Harry got Harry in there.
Yeah, it was in that We Are the World thing too.
Yeah, yes, that's right. That's right. He was in that. That was good too. That was so good.
Casey Rep did the play on Rustin a couple years ago.
The
local theater.
Yeah. Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of contrast between him and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Some things
but interesting.
Wouldn't suspect,
Mm-hmm. But really good. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, I guess there's no rule about cutting out a little early.
All right.
Yeah, I've got that.
What time's tip off, Bill?
What time is tip off? You
Yeah.
read my mind, Pete.
I know, I
Clock, I
saw
got-
you squirming
I
there.
got 3 minutes to get up and see my, meet my friend. Yeah.
All
All right.
right.
All right.
right.
See you guys.
Happy birthday.
Take care,
Bye.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Jeff. Good
happy
pick,
birthday,
Pete.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
thank you.
Bye.
See y'all
Bye.
next week.
Take
Yeah.
care.